Mr. Harish Bijoor is a brand thinker and a practitioner operating out of Bengaluru, India. He runs a unique consulting outfit branding Harish Bijoor Consults Inc., a brand name that has a consulting presence across the markets of Hong Kong, Seattle, London, Istanbul, Dubai, and the Indian subcontinent. He has spent his career across the aggressive realms of FMCG, telecom, and consumer durables. He's considered a marketing practitioner and thinker who's ahead of the consumer thinking curve year on year. He's definitely a fabulous speaker. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today and for sparing your time with us.
Thank you. I look at the economy as an entity which has four primary players. The first primary player is the government. So the government needs to do a lot in terms of spending, in terms of attention, in terms of action. The second player is essentially the banks. And banks need to be able to lend to people who want money now, because liquidity is the key L word which you and I are going to be talking about in the years to come. The third entity are companies, companies which actually operate in the private sector. And the private sector is really the engine of growth. And the ability for the private sector to start up and once again get back after unlocking India, hashtag unlocking India as I call it, so that things can move forward. The fourth entity is the consumer. And the consumer and his, her, their confidence, winning it back. That is a key task. And that is what's going to take the longest period of time. Governments will take action, possibly soon. Banks will be prodded by governments to take action. Businesses, once they're sure that they can operate without hindrance, they will start operating. The longest duration any one entity will take is the consumer, because winning consumer confidence back into the economy is the key task at hand. The key question you must ask, wherever you're working, whichever sector you're in, whether it be IT, ITES, whether it be end-to-end services of any kind, whether it be pharma, whatever, you need to ask the question, am I in a sector which is a needs and wants oriented sector, hashtag needs and wants, vis-a-vis, am I in a sector which is hashtag desires and aspirations oriented? Because needs and wants sector is going to remain largely unaffected. But the desires and aspirations sector is going to get hit for a period of time. And my period of time definition is 18 months. So, important for you to ask that first question, which sector do I belong to? The second piece of action is, even if you belong to a desires and aspirations segment of the market, you must try to make your desires and aspiration product or service like a want and a need kind of a product and service. Believe it or not, that's not too difficult. Because in branding, we have always worried about one paradigm. The branding paradigm is, if I build a pyramid of this manner, right at the bottom of the pyramid, the largest portion of the pyramid is occupied by commodity. After the commodity, a small portion is quasi-brand. And after the quasi-brand, a very small portion is the brand. In the old days, moving from commodity to quasi-brand to brand was called branding. And what we would typically do is, we would take a need and want product and take that need and want commodity and make it into a quasi-brand, and then make it into a desire and aspiration, which is a brand. That's the myth I'm breaking now. I'm saying, even if you're a desire and aspiration brand, you must start thinking, start talking like a need and want brand. Because the future, the immediate future of 18 months is for brands which are about need and want. A lot of brands are going to get shaken and stirred, and some are going to get decimated. Okay, so anything which is zero touch is going to be an item of significance. Okay? Whereas some brands are going to get decimated for a period of time. Again, I say period of time, as I say 18 months max, because fortunately, proverbially and really, public memory is short. And hopefully, if COVID is out of our lives for the next 8 months, then we'll forget it and we'll all do things the same way we used to do things. But some businesses affected, impacted very, very badly. Take education. Education is impacted quite a bit at this point of time because, it's all about physicality. I mean, what's a campus without human beings milling around, hugging one another? I mean, apart from studying and running around to the canteen, getting involved with all those extracurricular activities, researching in the libraries, living happy lives. Now, that is a big question mark today. Because people are saying that, hey, listen, guys, we need to be distanced for a period of time. So that business is going to reinvent itself slowly. However, the beauty of it is, EdTech, every institution has gone very tech-oriented today. So, a cusp approach by educational institutions of being part physical and part digital is a great way to go. So, I consult with 2 or 3 educational institutions, and these have been able to seamlessly move into business as usual mode because we have built for each of these a business continuity process much before COVID-19 happened, and we built it about 2 years ago. And when COVID-19 happened, within 28 hours, which is 1 day and 4 hours, they were able to roll it out. So the cusp business of physical and digital, and the business of saying that education must have a physical avatar and a digital avatar. It's the yin and yang of the education business, and I think that's how it will go ahead. And then there'll be several brands which will take a little bit of a beating for a while and come back after a while and say that it's business as usual.